There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Chaya,
Good morning.
play it again, the welcome for the recording.
Welcome to Ramasheri.
That's a Rameshwari cheer.
Very cute. Good morning and good evening to everyone. Welcome to Rameshwari Talks, session 5. So, one of the joys of the series has been discovering the remarkable journeys of our own family. Today is no exception. So, I'm delighted to welcome Padma Iyer or Chaya, the author of The Heart Algorithm, story of Ranana Banda. Through this conversation, we'll explore the story behind the book, the experiences that inspired it, themes of resilience, identity, healing, and human connection. Whether you've read the book or you're simply joining us out of curiosity, I hope the conversation leaves us with new perspectives about the journeys that shapes us. Over to you, Chaya.
Thank you, Srinidhi. And at the start, I think yesterday, I had shared a quick teaser. The answer is on the slide. The teaser was, hey, Rameshwari and FIFA, we are in FIFA 2026. Any guesses on what the similarities are or what's common? Those on the call. We started with a Rameshwari cheer. The question is, any similarities? And the answer is on the slide. Any guesses?
Number of pools is the same as the number of lineages? Just guessing.
You're on the right track, but it is, I'll give the answer. It's just that FIFA has various teams. Kannan Mama has created this whole concept of branches. So we represent the REVT branch. So both Srinidhi and I are team REVT and we are G4 girls. So the meme was FIFA has various teams and our Rameshwari has various branches, and the two of us here sporting jersey 10 and jersey 7. We have the FIFA Cup, and the colors are the themes of the book. So, well, I mean, there's a lot of symbolism going on there, but I just wanted to uh, share that.
So, Chaya, I wanted to make one correction.
Mhm.
That is, I did not create the concept of branches. That was R.G. Ishwaran and Rukmini Ishwaran. I have nothing to do with
But
that.
I think it's in terms of commonplace acknowledging these as branches and G1 and G4 coordinates and things like that. So I'll give you that credit.
Thank
What
you.
is 7 and 10?
Well, I mean, 10 and 7 are jersey numbers. I think if you want to, any guesses on who wears jersey 10 and jersey 7 on in the Indian cricket team, if you want to kind of draw a parallels to
10 for Tendulkar.
yeah, and 7.
Yes, and 7 is Dhoni.
7 is Dhoni.
Yeah. Likewise, in FIFA, there is 10 and 7 have a lot of symbolism with players like Messi, Maradona, who
7.
typically wear
No,
10,
10.
Pele.
and 7,
Ronaldo has 7.
David Beckham has 7. Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
just some.
Kannan is the Infantino of the FIFA.
Kannan Mama is a quarterback.
Arvind, you're
Quarterback.
still faint.
Oh, I don't know why. Okay.
The usual on the Bluetooth no kaadu pakkathula no pannuvai, and then you suddenly become clear.
All right. So that's a trivia on this slide, for all the hype that we had on the WhatsApp group.
Yep.
Okay. So Chaya, she's a sister, a mother, a friend, a family member. But today we are looking at Chaya as an author. So before we talk about the book, we want to get to know the person behind the book. So if somebody who's meeting you for the first time,
Mhm.
they asked, who's Chaya? Who's Padma Iyer? How would you answer that?
Well, I want to, because this is Rameshwari Talks, I'm going to start with the lineage. So I'm part of the REVT branch. Lakshmi Aji, my grandmother, my mom, Geeta, and there's Padma or Chaya. I grew up in Mumbai, so I'm a Mumbaiker in spirit. I thoroughly enjoyed my journey in Bangalore, so I'm going to say I'm a Bangalorean by heart. And I live in Los Angeles, therefore an Angelino today. One of the things I enjoy for a very long time, I truly believed I don't have any hobbies per se, or because growing up, my mom, my sister, and everybody on my mother's side were talented, accomplished singers. And I had that imposter syndrome, I guess, all through my teenage years. But when I was in Bangalore, some of my passions towards learning to bake, presentation of the presentation and the artistry aspect of food really intrigued me. And moving to LA, I've had the opportunity to be a part of various groups that have taken hosting and creating food in an artistic sense to a very different level and creating those experiences. So I have invested a lot of time in learning that or attending classes and also doing that when I host people. So I would think these are some of my passions or hobbies. I really like the concept of creating something from scratch, whether it's sourdough bread or a pineapple upside down cake, or this is like a Indian fusion with rasmalai, um, and a strawberry shortbread cheesecake, or so those are things that I really enjoy. I started to paint as part of occupation therapy in 2019. Um, my daughter's art teacher, Tikin Luda, she didn't speak one word of English, but I needed to rehab my fingers after prolonged stay in the hospital, and then she invited me over to just come and start using painting as a way to release emotions and build strength and fine motor skills back into my fingers. And I think that's an interest I developed since 2018. I haven't been as consistent, but um, yeah, but that's a process I enjoy. I have all the other role badges which we all carry. I think the two roles I really enjoy the most are being mom, and also being an aunt to my doting nephew Sumit. I think those are the two role badges I thoroughly enjoy, and I think I give my 100% or more. And the newest identity is that I'm shaping or working towards is being an author or being a writer. So that's a brand new chapter of my identity.
Being an artist runs in your blood, and you have multiple talents hidden in your fingers that we hear. But Heart Algorithm is probably your debut novel, but I'm getting a sense that this was not the beginning of your writing journey. So, how did storytelling become a part of your life?
Yes, it wasn't. I used to always enjoy writing as a teenager. In fact, I guess I was 10 or something when I published articles in a children's magazine back in India. In 10th grade, I wrote a novel. It was actually a very good novel, and I want to revive the story now. It was a novel set in French Revolution, set around the French Revolution, set in Renaissance Europe. It was even before I had watched James Bond or any of the sci-fi and spy-related movies, but it was set in Renaissance Europe. It had spies, it had some impossible romances, and I had like this. The story had some of these French royals trying to escape from these chateaus into England, and I hope to
Da,
revive that story. Yeah.
espresso, scuro,
Who's that? Oh, that's Vinu. All right. So,
Sorry,
but
sorry.
my
I thought he's
my
offering all of us some coffee.
yeah, I thought he's offering an espresso right now. But anyway, but my 10th grade teacher, I think her name was Ramachandran teacher. She actually took the book. She just wanted to read it, and it was handwritten in pencil. And I don't think I got it back, but the story is still in my head, in my heart, and at some point, I'd like to revive it. I actually nurtured a dream to do study English literature. But my aunt, who studied English literature, constantly dissuaded me for some reason. And I didn't, and life had other plans. But I think the writer in me stayed. My first job was with PwC, and I was in PwC's audit department when I joined as a 19-year-old. And audit is generally post-mortem, it's boring, it's a cost center. And one of the initiatives I took was to start a newsletter for, we as we were I was on this team for Hindustan Lever from PwC, and I started a newsletter called Leverage, which Lever stands for Hindustan Lever, and we wrote about our, how being an auditor at various their commercial and manufacturing sites, and what were some of the insights we discovered. And it was more about storytelling versus reporting the news. And I think I did about 6 issues of that. Um, and it got attention of Lena Nair at that time. I think Lena Nair used to lead HLL's human resources, and I got a 15-minute meeting with Lena. And today she is the CEO of Chanel. So I think it's a proud moment for me that I was able to meet her for 15 minutes back in my early 20s. I'm going to use the word superpower here. I know I've said this with Kanan Mama. I truly believe putting words, I have a way with words, and I truly believe that's one of my superpowers. And I then went on to drive communications and storytelling for Deutsche Bank. I did a lot of stories on women in tech, women in India, as to stories about successes, stories about balancing work and life, and a lot of stories which back then I was in India, and the Western world did not have an appreciation really for some of these women in India who really worked very hard, and sometimes even 3 shifts a day, balancing work and career and family and childcare and elder care. So I did quite a lot of that when in DB and ANZ, in addition to my day job, which was in product. In DB, I was in product, and in ANZ, I led both product and engineering. So I went on to doing that quite a bit during my tenure in India.
That's really impressive. As a 10th grade student handling such a complex topic, I think we would all love to read that novel. And also,
I'll revive it at some point.
oh, we would love to get a hold of it. And Leena Nair must be a fan of yours. And I'm glad, that she was able to instill this confidence in you, bringing you this far. And it's great, impressive. And I'm sure many people see technology and creativity as two different worlds. You spent a career in technology while nurturing your passion of writing. So, how did they influence each other?
I think my writing, I had always done this, but when I joined AWS 4 years ago, um, it really took off. In the sense, Amazon has an intense writing culture. Ideas live and die by the written word. I mean, if you have an idea, you put it on paper. In most of our meetings, we do not talk. We go by a document, and the first 20 minutes of a meeting are spent reading the document and the person who's the chair looks at the feedback and is only answering questions. A lot of people, a lot of my colleagues, or a lot of people I know typically do not like this because they are putting a lot of work behind the scenes in writing a document in uh, and putting pen to paper, while it's easier to just come and share a point of view in a meeting. But for me, I felt it was like fish to water, because it gave me space to think. It gives, the loudest doesn't push the idea forward. There is space for every person to share their feedback and comments. And I also got felt it helps the process of iteration. So for me, I then took on a role of being a dock bar raiser. I mean, it's a whole process to be a dock bar raiser in Amazon, wherein you it's a 3-month program, wherein you're given training to improve grammar, punctuation, writing succinct, writing in active voice, getting the written word across. And over the my last 4-year tenure, I wouldn't say 3,000 colleagues. I would call it, that's an error. It's actually 3,000 plus documents that I have mentored on, giving them structured feedback on how to improve their writing, gathering data, and structured thinking. So I think that also gave me a lot of um, mm, practice, or a lot of validation on how you could put your ideas and stories on paper, and how do you connect with your audience. So I think that helped strengthen my skill, if you will, the writing culture at Amazon.
That's brilliant. I mean, I'm with your colleagues, sitting and writing the 6 pager. No, I would rather just put it as a presentation. That being said, I think we have the mentor mentee as part of our Rameshwari. I think you would make a great mentor. Um, so
Thank
at
you. Yeah.
so at what point did this become more than just a story you wanted to tell? Is there a moment where you had to write this book?
Yeah, so I think for me, this story, or the story that I first wrote, did not begin in a writing room. I thought that I'm going to write this. Um, I even have the date in mind. I think I decided I'm going to write my journey the day I transferred from Keck to Kindred, the LTAC, which is the long-term acute care. It's and I s- and that's when I decided that this story needs to be told, whether I come out of it successful or not, or but the whole story of you go through a heart procedure, a heart surgery. I had expected that this is going to be, it's a surgery, it's biologic, it is you're replacing one valve with another. Yes, there is a period of recovery, and then I go back to being the person I was, or the person I identified myself with. But when I came out of it was a total dismantling of the self. I went as a 38-year-old, a mother to 8-year-old. I was so full of doing so many things. Of course, I was working, but I also was very active on the PTA. I would run bake sales. I would, go swimming with her. There was a whole self and an identity that I had. And when I came back, or even when I transferred to the LTAC, I lived with, I'm going to call them inmates, but the other two other patients who were with me were, I think, 96 and 94-year-olds, and with no cognitive ability. And so it was a phase where I was like, okay, I have to reorient myself, not just physically but also emotionally and spiritually, and I started to not recognize myself. And that's when the whole the you know the story was kind of born in the LTAC. And I have this picture of homecoming. I think my dad's picture is a bit cropped here, but it's a picture on December 12th. I think I came home on December 1st. This is my entire family there. And none of this would have been possible without any of them. I think without my dad, who was I mean, he was driving really hard. Without Amma, who taught me to be compassionate inwards. I'm not a person who's very compassionate and kind inwards. I learned that from her, especially though I have never said this to her. I think this has been one of the first times I'm telling her that I learned to be, I learned compassion inwards from her. From my husband Gopi, that progress is not linear and it's the discipline that matters. And I think Gopi did that to me every day in the LTAC, that hey, you doesn't matter, you just be consistent. And my last but not the least, my daughter Samyukta, because she was only 8, but not a single day did she had any crazy tantrums or demands, and she pretty much put her life on an autopilot mode since then. So I think for me it was I was able to invest the time in my recovery, not just emotion, not just physical, but the whole emotional, spiritual, and the existential part of it.
That's a tough medical journey for you and the family around. And I'm sure the strength from the people around, it comes across as well, and that helps too with the journey. But many people, after such a tough journey, they would want to write a memoir. Why did you choose fiction? Did you think that was the right medium for telling the story?
Yeah. I thought about I mean, to me there was a whole strange loneliness when I came back, not just when I came back home. I think even when I um returned back to I came back home on December 1st, 2018. I started working, crazy enough, on December 15th, 2018. I did not even want to go back to work. But there were a bunch of people who believed in me even more than I did. I think at that time I used to work for Royal Bank of Canada, and the CIO, John Beale, actually told me that, hey, Padma, anytime I fall sick, I want you. When I say, what he meant was he appreciated my resilience so much, or even the fact that I was, whatever I had gone through. So what he felt, that even the fact that my fingers didn't work, I could not type, I could not, and um I considered it as a disability, and I never thought I will get the cognition back or the fine motor skills back in my fingers. So I went back to work on December 15th, and I thought that's going to help me get back to my new normal. But then what I realized is that every time I would try to make an attempt to go, I was doing a comparison of my past life, and that past life was gone. And I had to pretty much reorient myself in everything, not just, physical was number one, and number two was in my entire belief system had to be rebuilt. And 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 there was a lot of reckoning I had through that process as to who am I without the identity I had built for myself. I had spent my entire career on building teams, delivering programs, building systems, and so I had focused my entire life on metrics and data and revenue and all the numbers that spoke of um, that had a certain trajectory, but then I didn't have that part of that identity had been, um I would say, was gone. So I had to rebuild myself. I also started to question what are some of the things that medicine did not help. Yes, my heart was stitched back. It brought back the circulation. But there were a number of answers that medicine did not provide. It did not provide why me, how am I going to rebuild my confidence, and I also wanted to explore. I'm going to give this credit to Vinu. He's on the call. I think Vinu and I used to talk, and Vinu used to share a lot of Buddhist philosophy with me. And I think Vinu had taken a trip to Tushita, and I got very intrigued by Tushita. I've never been to Tushita, and I got very intrigued by Tushita, and I used to read a lot about Tushita. I also used to read a lot about Jack Dorsey, and as to how Tushita and Buddhist philosophy influenced him. So I wanted to bring in all these aspects of rebuilding identity. I wanted to bring in an aspect of the Bangalore tech culture because my career was at the cusp of the tech revolution in Bangalore. I wanted to bring speed and ambition and aspects of narrative medicine. And I wanted to use the heart as a metaphor, not just a physical organ. So for exploring all these various themes, I felt fiction was the way to do it, and not a memoir. I know it's a long story there, a long answer there. And two of my friends, again, I want to give them a credit too. I think the two of my friends, I think they believed that I could write even before I did. One of my friends, Annette, has been my friend since ninth grade. Ever since my dad passed away, till this date, she gives me a call every single day to check in on me. And she's invested a lot of time in brainstorming the themes, the story, the characters, the settings, the metaphors. And she also edited my book. So I'm really grateful for that. And then I have another friend who spent a lot of time in helping me with the cover design, finding a publisher in the US, a distributor in India, and again, who he has I mean, he also helped me out with helping finding my ground back finding my feet back on the ground. So I think I want to give them the credit as part of this journey. And this is a comic strip. I think a lot of people have asked me how did I do during the period of my surgery and recovery, but very few have turned and asked my daughter or Samyukta or my husband. So this is an illustration that my daughter Samyukta did in 2023. It's a comic strip, and it's called The Invisible Patients. And she's kind of told this story much better than I could through a comic strip. So I think I wanted to give that, put that out here to kind of illustrate how those 3 months were for her when I was in the ICU as an 8-year-old.
I think we would love to see this comic strip as well. Maybe we can post it later in the group.
Yeah.
One of the things that really stood out for me is when you said you had to reorient yourself. I would say it's more of a rebirth because you had to relearn almost everything. So we and also what stood out is the book is not just about a medical event. It's about making sense of the life after it.
Mhm.
And so that brings me to the themes that you explored. And can you tell us a little bit more about the Buddhist philosophy that entered your storytelling?
Yeah,
Chaya,
so yes.
I want to briefly pause. My mother is completely broken down just
Oh,
listening to you and to tell your story. I
oh, I'm so sorry.
No, no, don't be sorry. I just want to give her a moment to express what. maybe she'll do it in a few minutes, but she's really, I can tell, she's more than touched. Aഴുதுன்னு
Oh, I'm sorry.
So,
I mean, that was really not my intent.
no, I know. You don't have to be sorry. We all feel sorry for you.
No, I
So,
don't want to be. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me.
okay, we all
Yeah,
are proud about your resilience. Let's put it that way.
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's really not the goal. This is not about anybody feeling sorry for me. I think.
Let,
ഭഗവാനോട് അനുഗ്രഹം അത്ര കുഴന്തയ്ക്ക്
Oh, thank you, Patti.
Yes, you have been blessed, my dear.
Oh, no, I think we all have the strength within ourselves. It's just trying to make sure we unlock that calling, and yeah,
You
that's what
are,
it is.
you are blessed. It's very hard. I cannot even think of what you went.
I think I've had lots of people along the way who have shaped me for where I am. I think I said I'm so grateful for um I mean family, definitely. I think I wouldn't have done this without Appa, without Amma,
Yeah, yeah.
without my mother-in-law.
And
Most
then you said you
importantly,
lost
Gopi
your
and
Appa.
Samu.
No,
Yes, I
you have
wouldn't
done
have.
so much, and then you said you lost your Appa. That
Yes,
hurt.
I lost my Appa. I think that was very
That
hard for
hurt
me.
so much.
Yeah. But I think there are so many others, I think, who have, when I have been really very fortunate, I think I would say a lot of my mentors at work, I think, as I said, John Beale believed that I could come back to work, and he put me on one of his pet projects when my fingers didn't work. He just told me, his EA worked for me for 3 months, taking notes for me when, and he shared his EA as a CIO with me. So I was just so blessed. So to,
You are blessed, and you
uh,
have been so strong, very difficult. That strength has come from the Ramasheri, I can tell you.
yeah, thank you.
Okay? They are all very strong people. All
Yeah,
of them have gone through many hardships, but not a word in their mouth.
yeah, yeah,
So
thank
that
you.
is why
No,
you
this
you
is not to make anybody emotional. I
no,
hope
no,
I'm not
it's
trying to
not,
do that.
not because what you said, but you went through.
Yeah,
That is not easy. That made me very, because going through something I have also done. So all that after thinking, I felt, oh, Shiva Bhagwan, oh my God, I cannot think. So anything, I am sorry, it's not that you hurt me, but what you went through is not very easy. That
yeah,
is the way.
yes.
It
Yes,
is
as I
not
said, I think I've
very
just
difficult.
no, I think I would
Glad
give a lot of
you
lot of
are
lot of lot
able
of help my parents. I think Amma and Appa. I think of course Amma and Appa, and then I'm also going to give Gopi and Samu, because Gopi
yeah,
has put
yeah.
a lot of work
First,
in.
first is your
Um,
husband.
yeah, he's put a lot of work in driving consistency. I think one word that
Yes,
describes him is consistency, and
he
he
went through it so bravely. That is
yes,
so
yes,
very not easy, not easy.
yes.
And
While
I'm very proud of you for having let us know all this, and you have been able to express yourself, which needs a lot of strength and to be strong. You cannot express certain things, and that was very good of you. God bless you. And
thank you,
anything called the Sandoshama, okay?
thank you, thank you.
So I want to take this break to ask a question, Chaya. In the previous slide, I get why survivors grief and survivors longing.
Mm-hmm.
What is survivors guilt?
I think there is this guilt because I had this feeling for a long time that I must have wronged somebody. There must be something wrong that I did, so I got punished. I had all those feelings of, am I guilty of hurting some people? There was a lot of that I went through.
Oh, like karma and the madriya, like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, anything will come, you'll feel all that. But in May, your life, God is going to be very good to you. Okay?
However it is, I'm going to have to take it and we got to move on, right? I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah. We have to learn that from you. You know, everybody goes through, and அவ கஷ்டம் தான் அவளுக்கு பெருசா இருக்கும். இன்னொருத்தரோட யாருக்கும் அത്ര வேகம் தெரியாது. Something comes to you, that will be more than any one of them.
yeah.
எப்பவுமே அது because when you go through only you will know. So anyway, thank you so much. You
மா முடிஞ்சுட்டல
இல்ல இல்ல நான் இனிமே அழமாட்டேன். Thank you so much. You made me also so strong.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I have got similar responses. I have done a few readings, like a
Yeah,
lot of readings with the women at Amazon because I'm also a women at Amazon board member. So we've done a lot of these conversations. A lot of women come crying, and a lot. I mean, whether men or women, a lot of them had. So I have had a lot of these. Responses, but yeah, I didn't expect that from the family group because this was more. I haven't gone into. I've kept this more topical and less, less about healing and vulnerability. So yes, thank you.
continue.
Yes.
You did a very good job. That I should say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were on this. I think I explored some of this as to who I was, right? I had built this whole career on being available 24/7. I'd worked on startups. I was very ambitious. I still am ambitious. And I worked on, always believed that things don't fail. We talk about resilience. When I say resilience in the technology world of HA and DR and high availability and disaster recovery and all those concepts of literally failed me. And then along the way, when I was in rehab, I think I had a couple of good therapists, physical therapists. I think there was this therapist called Ray, and he grew up in South Central LA, a predominantly black and a rough neighborhood. And he used to often share stories when he used to make me exercise, stories of grit and stories about how his daughter wants to be a WNBA player. And then he used to say, and I used to tell him, yeah, and he used to tell me stories about her drop shot. But the idea was for me not to get lost in the basketball drop shots or the points, but as to what each of their journeys were. Like, I think Ray had a phenomenal journey. When I was in the LTAC, I had this nurse who was she was a trans woman. So she was a man who would now become a woman, but she knew what it meant to be betrayed by her body. And how what is it when your body doesn't listen to you? So when it's like, and she used to tell me things like in the LTAC, think of yourself as an equilateral triangle. One side there is a physical self, there's another side which is your emotional, and the third side is your spiritual orientation. And even if one gets skewed, it's no longer an equilateral triangle. So I think some of these people, and all my life till I was there, I had lived a very sheltered life. Always met people like me, like myself, who had stable families, went to schools, went to college, then they show up at work. But then this whole experience in the hospital brought me to so many people who had gone through adversities. And that kind of awakened me. I think the LTAC really made a difference um, on counting my blessings and think that there is that rewiring is possible. And as I said, when talking to Vinu and I, well, used to talk a lot those days. I think he was in Pune, and I was in the US. He had also come 2 to 3 days to stay with me and Samu, and that's the time he and Samu built a good bond. And Vinu and I used to talk about his Tushita exploration, and I just got reading on my own. I'm nowhere as philosophical as my mom or Vinu or the others, but there were some concepts that stuck with me about dukkha, or is inevitable. I think everybody has their own stories, and we have to work through that. I think karma is not just, or if you do bad, you get bad, but it's driven by your actions. And this whole Sanskrit or the Buddhist concept of Runanubandha, wherein you have certain karmic ties from your past birth, and there are certain lessons that you have to learn this in this birth through the contract of your soul, that intrigued me, or that was the only answer I could get for what I had gone through. Then I started putting pen to paper, and as I said, writing became catharsis. And the takeaway is, like, it did not really heal this my sternum or restore my missing toes, but it really offered me time to unwind and calm down and vent, if you will, on paper.
Chaya, there is one word you're using I didn't get. You said LPAT or LSAT or something. What is that?
LTAC, LTAC, LTAC is long-term acute care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Long term.
Long LTAT, long term acute care. LTAC. Yeah. Thanks, Chaya.
yeah, yeah.
It was beautifully put. And also, I think when I started reading the book, I'm able to relate to the party where it took me a few days to get past the first few pages. Honestly, like for a person who wants to start reading, what would you like them to know before they start?
I think it's a good question. I think I've talked about this, so it's based on my lived experiences. I wrote this. I'm just going to skip this, but so I had a few themes. I think I wanted the protagonist of the book is this lady Mira. Mira is not me, but her decisions are not mine. But then there is a lot of the medical realities in the book are based on my lived experience. I think Mira is ambitious. She sometimes doesn't make these good choices. She's married, but she's in a relationship with this guy Arjun, and that's all metaphorical. It's like there is a physical heart, the heart as an organ. There is an emotional heart that sometimes fails, right? And so that kind of explains the emotional and the physical fidelity. And there is a spiritual heart that Arjun goes to Tushita and he has all this awakening. So there is a spiritual heart, and there is eventually both Mira and Arjun realize that, okay, that they need to let go, and there is a whole love that transcends possession. So I think that's I mean, there is a lot of symbolism and metaphors in the book through ordinary storytelling. And I've just taken a moment to clarify that, because it's not all that black and white as to the decisions, the storytelling. So there is a lot of those connections and metaphors that you need to make. And it's I mean, I truly want to be humble, but then if you have read Jhumpa Lahari's books, I think she has all those metaphors that she does write in her way. I was influenced by the way she writes. I think I had read Namesake, Interpreter of Maladies. So there is all these metaphors where you have to kind of connect as a reader to kind of get the full gist. And the story also travels. The story travels. It starts in Bangalore. It's based on the tech hub and the tech startup. It then goes to Los Angeles. So I've kind of put the pictures of all these places that in Bangalore. I have Cubbon Park in the story. I have Hard Rock Cafe. I have this cool joints, or in Hot Chips cool joints in Jayanagar. I have Alsur Lake in the book. Then I had this Shivaji, and then there is this Vidyarthi Bhavan, all of those places mentioned in the book. Then I have Los Angeles, of course, the iconic Hollywood signs, the taco trucks, Ojai, the orange orchards, uh, In and Out Burger, which is again very LA. So I think I mentioned some of all this, and then the last one is Tushita. So the story kind of travels as well from Bangalore to LA to Ohio, and then Tushita.
Beautiful. I mean, the characters, the spirituality, the strength, and all of this comes across in the book. So, if the audience, whoever's listening, if you've not read it, I think you should get a copy and you should read it. So, the book is more than just a personal milestone, and it seems to be part of something bigger. So, what next?
Yeah, I think this is cut out for some reason, but so I'm actually launching this in 120 retail stores in India in July 2026. I'm hoping to be in Bangalore July 14th and a couple of weeks for 2 weeks, Bangalore and Pune and Mumbai. I have a bunch of corporate and academia readings, not so much about the book, but in I have some corporate readings focused on wellness, and one is wellness. There's one in PayPal that I'm doing as to how do you remain vulnerable without losing credibility, right? Because in a high performance culture, including that I am part of, I mean, Amazon has a high performance culture, but how do I embrace my vulnerability without losing credibility? How do I make every person in my team know that I am a survivor? I don't have toes, but I still don't lose credibility, right? I think those are some of the conversations I'm doing with Deutsche Bank, PayPal. I think there's one with Snowflake. So the theme is being vulnerable without losing credibility. I'm also speaking to in an MIMS for young women on charting their own voice, and making sure that your voices are heard even during vulnerable situations, and and um, believe in the power of you. I think those are some of those conversations. So my larger mission is to amplify voices and advocate for better recognition of heart health, especially in women. Heart disease is the number one killer for in women, but it's rarely spoken. It's rarely spoken in professional settings. I think there is heart health awareness for men, but very little for women. So that's part of the larger mission. And 100% of my royalties are donated to ACHA, which is Adult Congenital Heart Disease Association in the US. And since March, I also have a matching contribution by Amazon Gives. So every dollar I contribute towards the ACHA is there is a matching contribution by Amazon Gives. And what are some of the places I've already done readings and conversations? I read at UCLA Health. I have partnered with Yale Cardiology and their cardiovascular psychology group. So this is they have an emerging branch called narrative medicine, wherein you work as a patient expert. And you focused on storytelling and what is it that makes some people come out of critical illness while others don't. Some fun fact: I'm actually partnering with Bill Heinrich. If any of you guys know him, is a former Chicago Bulls NBA player and coach. He underwent a Ross procedure. He had a bicuspid aortic valve, yet went on to be an NBA player, and he's championing this cause in Yale, because it really matters to him. I've done a reading in Huntington Health, and then I have my book in there in both UCLA and Huntington Health bookstores. Adam Pick is a heart valve surgery advocate. I think he's done a article and a feature. I talked about women at Amazon, and American College of Cardiology is also. I haven't done a reading with them yet, but then I have shared excerpts of the book, I think the first chapter, Re-entry, and there is this Tushita chapter on Jewel of the Lotus, Om Mani Padme Hum. So those are two excerpts that I have shared with the American College of Cardiology. What's next is I am writing my next book. It's called the Kintsugi Logic, and it waits for a summer 2027 release.
Oh, that's amazing. We look forward to that as well.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you empowered yourself and you're also in the journey to empower the others. So that's brilliant. Thank you for that. And also thank you for sharing your journey with us and giving
Thank
us
you
a
for the
glimpse
opportunity
into
and
it.
having me here. So thank you.
If anybody has any comments, questions, please go ahead.
You can see the chat, Srinidhi. I
Okay.
think you can, right?
Yes.
I think Jayanti had a question. She just added one.
Oh,
What's the
What is
reason, Chaya? What's the
sorry, say that again.
reason why most of the women get heart attacks? What is the reason you think?
I think it's not most of the women get a heart attack. I think heart disease
Mm.
is much more than heart attack. Though heart attack is no is kind of,
Yours
I mean,
also heart attack or a heart disease?
so heart mine is a congenital heart it is a congenital heart condition. Heart disease is chronic, it's progressive. I think that is heart disease.
Mm.
And a heart attack is basically when the muscles of the heart fail and it's kind of necrosis. I think that's when it stops functioning. That is heart attack. So when and they fail permanently, I think that is heart attack. So heart disease is like any disease, like cancer, like diabetes. It's chronic, it's progressive, and it's generally when it's some are congenital, some are lifestyle, and then often goes undiagnosed.
I
Is
think
it hereditary?
um, to add to that, I think women are more prone to it after a certain age because of menopause. Uh, right now, with a lot of research that we're doing with Renalini's company, so that's what I came across. So once the estrogen level drops, not to get too technical, but as women's progress in age, they're more susceptible to heart conditions.
So what steps they have to take, do
Uh,
you think?
well, I'm no expert, but I would think diet is
No,
important.
since you are doing so many research, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I think
mm,
diet is important. I would
mhm.
definitely put diet is important. The heart is a muscle like any other organ in your body. It's no different than your arms or legs. So exercise is important. I think the heart definitely needs exercise. So exercise is important. Diet is important. Um,
So
and
your doctor has advised anything regarding when you attain the menopause, that you have to take care of the estrogen level or something like that?
well, I again, I'm not a physician, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to
Nothing.
give
He is
you
not advised you,
any
right?
advice.
Mm,
But every situation is unique.
mm.
Um, and
Yeah, of course.
yeah, but what I would
Everything.
recommend is listen to your body.
Mm,
The body definitely gives you signals before it raises an alarm. So
mm.
listen to your body and work with your doctor. But the most important thing is
Did
diet
you
and
feel
exercise.
anything before you got into this? Your
Uh,
body was
yeah, I think
asking
for
for
me, I
any.
didn't put that slide here, but I think
Mm,
I may have it and I can maybe bring it. But um, yeah, I mean, so for me, and I'm going to
mm.
maybe share this. I did this with UCLA, and I may have this. I might gonna. I mean, I've been asked this question before. Yeah. All right. So this is my this is my okay. So this is a slide I did for another group, but then I think for me, my diagnosis was when I was 4. Because I had a heart murmur. The heart murmur is when I'm just trying to make it less medical, but then you have like a certain swooshing sound that
Mm-hmm.
comes when every time the heart pumps
Mm-hmm.
the oxygenated blood in and out of the valve.
Mm-hmm.
So it was diagnosed in 1984. I had routine monitoring, which I used to do annual echocardiograms. I underwent a balloon valvoplasty when I was 28 in Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
I then went on to have my daughter, but it was successfully managed high risk cardiac pregnancy, but the condition
Oh,
progresses.
okay.
So in 2018, I had a severe aortic stenosis. I think again, stenosis is a narrowing of the opening of the valve, and I mean there are gradients and there are pressures and all of that. I mean, I wouldn't get into that here. Uh, and then I also had something called as an aneurysm. An aneurysm is nothing, simply put, a swelling. Because the valve or the arteries have been overworked, if you will, for so many years due to a congenital defect, right? So, and an aneurysm thins the valve walls of the arteries and eventually can lead to rupture and death. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so an aneurysm has to be um, cut out essentially.
I had a
Mm-hmm.
different question, Chaya,
Mm-hmm.
sort of changing the topic a bit. Um, you, I saw that 100% of your royalties are going to ACHA. I just want to um, doubly make sure that usually when people write books, I mean, we live in a world, very capitalistic world, where you do everything to see, okay, what's the return? You spend a minute on something, what's the return you're getting out of it? People write books, they look forward to, how many books are sold and how much royalty do they get paid. Is it fair to say, I want to be careful when paraphrasing, you're not making any money out of writing this book?
Absolutely. I'm not.
And for that, I want to acknowledge, applaud, because not only have you gone through something very unenviable, nobody will want to go through this, but you're actually, like my mother said, being strong and then giving back from your experience. That's
That
what
is
you're
what
doing.
God wanted.
Yeah, and I think I also, as I said, I have now 100% contribution from Amazon Gives, and when Amazon Gives decides to do that, they thoroughly vet and make sure that I'm not making money and they're not contributing to a cost where it's profitable for me. So, it's my royalties are directly paid to ACHA, and I think a quarter later there is 100% match from Amazon Gives. Yeah.
Yes.
So this I can only say in Tamil.
Mhm.
செல்லதெல்லாம் வரும் ஆனா நீ என்ன பண்ணறியோ அது சும்மா வராது.
That I think we should have put the Chumma Varuma on the Ramashari next talk
Yeah.
along with the Ramashari cheer.
And with all that, you are so cheerful, smiling, talking. Bhagavan
No, no,
Nana.
I have my days. I think my mom and sister can speak to the days where I can be quite nasty. I can be very moody. I think my husband, he's not on this call, he's in Bangalore, but he knows that too. So
I want to give a big hug to you.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I think no, there
And
are
you
a lot
didn't
of days. I think yesterday I spoke to my friend Annette. She was like, I'm going to keep the phone. अगर तू एक और बार रोएगी ना मैं बस अभी बंद कर दूंगी. She'll just literally tell me that. So there are people I have I can't cry a lot, but sometimes when you wear a facade, you become the facade. I think that's what I'll say.
and nothing to do with karma and all these things. These kind of things.
No,
That's all.
it's
When you go
you
through
need
something,
you needn't think like that.
No, I don't anymore, but I think I said when I explained when Kannan Mama asked what is the survivor's guilt. So that was the guilt.
Anyway, God wanted you to do all this, and that is why you had to go undergo. ஏதோ பகவான் என்னத்தையோ நெஞ்சுண்டு அதை பண்ணியிருக்காரு. அது that is life.
Yeah,
எல்லாமே
today,
நல்லது பண்ணுவார், இதுவும் பண்ணுவார், எல்லாம் பகவான் பார்த்து பண்ணதான். So I'm glad you are back to normal and you are able to do things. That is very great.
Well, normal is a new normal, right? I think we all
yeah,
have a
when
sense of
அதுதான்
new.
ஒண்ணும் பண்ண முடியாது.
Yeah, whatever.
no, it's not easy.
Because I have
Many,
And again, there is an acceptance of the new normal, and it is a journey. I think it's not
it's
overnight.
not easy and comfortable also. It's not at all easy.
Yeah,
It's
actually, I want.
extremely traumatic. It was the 3 months in the hospital she spent. It was extremely traumatic for all of us.
Yeah.
Throughout the difficult period, myself, my husband, Gopi, her husband, then her daughter and Lavanya, we all stood by her side.
I think
And
party also, Amma. I think
her mother-in-law also, and
Yeah.
giving her constant love, care, and support.
I,
Despite these immense physical and emotional hardships, she en- uh, she endured. She overcame them through extraordinary courage, actually, determination, resilience, and her unshakable will to live for her daughter.
oh yes, I wouldn't be where I am if it were not for my daughter. I think
Actually, we had kept her daughter's photo right in front of us so that uh, she'll have that will,
yeah.
even for physiotherapy. She was not even able to sit, not
Forget
even
that
able
I
to
didn't have
speak,
fingers. My fingers didn't move. I didn't have voice.
no
And
voice.
I didn't have voice. And then it used to frustrate Gopi. He used to come, I mean, not to make it about the hospital, but he used to come and he will tell me something, and I used to try to tell him, and he used to bring this board that had A to Z, and then he will, and I will blink with my eyes, and then he will make guesses of what I'm saying. And then Samu used to come and she used to read books to me. She used to read books like she was 8. She used to bring books from the hospital on Pocahontas. I don't know. She also chose books that used to be all these women powered. She used to bring Pocahontas. She would bring Mulan. She would bring Benazir Bhutto. She used to have Malala, and then Jane Goodall. I remember reading. She used to read all these things to me about then Diana, and then and then she had this Who Am I, Who Was I, that kind of whole series, and then she'd come, she'd read it to me, and then I felt okay. This is an 8-year-old who is just telling me you have to be there. And then I had this nurse Amy who used to tell me that you are a mommy girl. You don't have an option. And she was this black woman, and I'm only bringing the race because black women are very tough mothers, and they never ever give up on their children. So some of all this, I never saw them. I never saw all the people. I think for me, it was an awakening. I never saw weakness in all the people who supported me, because though they had their own stories, whether it was my physical therapist Ray, or this nurse Amy, or the trans woman nurse that I had, and in India I used to be scared of all those people. I used to be scared of trans people, and then I kind of realized that they are just trapped in a body that's beyond them. And my EA today is a trans man, and I made it a point to hire him because because of my experience I had in the hospital. So that's
And
how it is.
one more thing, from childhood, she has always been exceptionally hardworking. She believed in giving her best in everything, and anything short of excellence was never acceptable to her, always. And she consistently excelled in all her studies, and she was always among the top students in her class. Everything she has achieved, uh, it is a result of her own dedication, hard work, making her a self-made
I
person.
think this is getting too much, but yeah, thank you.
No, that is true. And her daughter Samyukta, now she has inherited some of these
Yeah, I can say
same
Too
that.
early,
qualities.
too early, but yeah.
No, but she has the same qualities of diligence and determination and commitment to excellence.
No, I think some was better than me. I think
But
she
Yeah,
started
she's
cooking at
stronger.
8 years old. You know, my daughter, she used to keep idli. Once my mother-in-law left, she will put idli tatta, she will keep put the thing. She will make breakfast for herself and go to school when she was in fourth grade.
Where is your daughter?
Pittsburgh.
She is in CMU right now, but
Oh,
Carnegie Mellon,
she's in Carnegie Mellon. She's doing a
Carnegie
program.
Mellon.
But I think I was not like that. Trust me, I was really no way like, where I could keep idlis. I could, I mean, she can cook anything, whether it is cookies or tiramisu or even vadam she can make. With my mother-in-law, I don't know to make vadam, but she knows to make vadam. So she's.
I
So
think
I
the
want to bring this.
humility.
yes,
Sorry, I just wanted to add the humility runs in the family, and you should give yourself credit, yes, from where you
yes,
were.
Thank you. It's been a journey, and I think there's a lot of role that everybody has had to play. I think Appa especially. He left on December 18th, 2018, from LA to go back to Bangalore, and he was so pushy that I learned to drive. I drive. I was not ready because I don't have sensation in my toes. I had all those bandages. But then he said, "No, you have to drive. You have to drive and I have to see you drive." So the day he left, he made me drive in the basement of the apartment that we lived. And then he said, "Okay, now I know you will drive." And then I think Amma stayed until Feb. I used to drive for my own physical therapy, whether I had sensation or not, or I don't know what, but
wow,
we just did. And then I guess I think that there's a lot of credit for Appa and Amma. As I said, Amma really taught me to be compassionate inward, and by just emulating that. I have never said this to her, but she really taught me that.
Should write it for Rameshwari Mother's Day next year when it comes.
Yes.
So I want to bring us back to how you started. You said REVT G4 gals. Now look at the call. You have the people who helped you, but I see REGN and RESU, and there are different branches represented here. So now, and then this is recorded. Others will see it too. So now you started with REVT, but you have the whole Rameshwari family behind you, Chaya. You
Thank
can
you.
call on any one of us, and we are here
Thank you.
to
Yeah.
help you. Not just help you, because you clearly are a lady who doesn't need any help. You will just do many things on your own.
He
But
does
No, we
many
all
things.
do need help. I mean, trust me, I'm not a person who does it all on my own. I have leveraged so many people along the way, right? So it's
we
not.
are all here. We are all here, and you have a calling, and we are here to help you to, with that calling.
Yeah.
Because you're here to, you have a mission now that you want to promote all the things that you're doing with the book is for the greater good. We
Yes.
are behind you for that also, is what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
yes.
Grateful.
And
Uh,
I,
yeah.
I think there are more
Muthuchit,
questions. Meera has a
yeah,
question.
I mean, she said, Mira says you're an inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Muthuchitappa says you're very, very articulate, and the loudest does not dominate ideas.
I think that is the Amazon writing culture, I think, right? That's what you're
Yeah.
referring to, Mama?
I like that. I like that very much.
Yeah, I like that too. I think but we have now with the AI writing tools coming in, I'm not enjoying it as much. Because there's so much of, you can see the hallucinations Yeah, but yeah, I think, but there are a lot like me who do not use, who we use AI to polish, but we still put our original ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
There are
good, Chaya. Very, very good, Chaya.
Oh, thank you, Mama. Mama was one of my role models, and he continues to be. I think he used to come to Bombay frequently, and I used to always be impressed with his articulation and the way he used to write. And he really continues to be one of my role models.
I remember him telling Chaya once, Chaya, you should not be an ordinary person. You
I
have
used
to
to
be
waste my time during college, I
extraordinary.
guess. I used to hang out with friends, and that's one day he came and he told me, "Don't waste your time."
so Srinidhi, if there are no further questions, you can close.
Yeah,
But this was
okay.
a
Yeah, it was a
terrific
beautiful session.
Thank you. We've gone over the
Thank you.
time, and thank you.
It's okay. I think we all really want to be here. And the themes of resilience, hope, a lot of hope, relationships and healing, they're all universal, but you showed us, and a lot of it came across today from your presentation and also from your book.
Thank you.
And so thank you for showing,
And
illuminating
Srinidhi,
us with
you've
your
been a
experiences.
wonderful collaborator. I know I
Oh,
have been, you know, not showing up to our prep calls, and we have worked asynchronously compared
yeah.
to my mother's sessions, which were very prepared. I just, we were winging this, but yeah.
You were winging it, yeah. You're right.
so Srinidhi,
And
I have a question for you. How difficult was it to work with Chaya? You don't have to
she's
answer.
that's no, she's busy as ever, but it's been a pleasure,
Yeah.
honestly. It's
No, no,
Yeah.
I think I haven't met her deadlines and milestones, but but yeah, but we delivered
no.
it, I think, today.
Oh, you're just
Oh,
amazing.
oh, thank
Yeah, it's been a pleasure really having you. And thank you for everyone who is able to join us. And we look forward to the next talk.
oh, thank you.
All right.